Good morning, good evening everybody. You join us live at Racing-Leagues.com for the third pre-season test of our V8 Supercars Championship. Alongside me tonight is Bruce Duncan. Good evening, Bruce, how are you?
Good evening, Steve. Very tired since the time of day it is here.
Excellent, yes, it's good morning for us and good evening for everybody else. So we're at Hidden Valley this weekend for the third and penultimate pre-season test. Some new drivers and the return of the champion. Should be an exciting event.
It should, yes. Rob's just come back today and he's immediately on the pace.
Absolutely, yeah, it's good to see the holiday has blown the cobwebs off, if there were any to start off with, and he's straight back on the pace as we can see. So we're just joining the qualifying session with 15 minutes remaining, and we have Rob on top with a 1 minute 4.9, and then we've got some new guys following up after that. So how do we see this one working out, Bruce?
It'll be interesting to watch. From what we're seeing here, we've got the Volvo chasing hard, but I believe we are running a top 10 shootout today.
I do believe that's the plan. We have 11 drivers on track at the moment, so they're perfectly feasible to go ahead and run the top 10 shootout as preparation for the season. Interestingly, today we've got the two SRT teammates in the Mercedes-Benz. I believe there was some discussions during the week from Mercedes-Benz Australia to get some viewing of their cars to show just how good they actually are. So as we can see, one is leading and one is down in fourth already, so looking good there.
Yes, it is. The Mercedes-Benz, no one seems to be wanting to actually drive them. I don't know why. They are very slow drive. German engineering is normal. And as you said, yes, they are first and fourth at the present moment in time. And testing with Dan Stevens, the speed of that car has been very fast. It's definitely going to catch the attention of everyone, that's for sure. Well, Dan's just... He has, yes. Well, Mines is currently running in 6th place. He's just driving the 222 HHA Commodore just now until the new car comes out of the shop. Hopefully they'll be within the next week or so. The cars are just getting finished off at Ball Control Performance just now.
Excellent, so you've got a bit of a works help out there with those cars for the year?
Yes, the GM Holden Limited have given us their full backing. As we see some action there on track, that what was it? Neville Wilson looked like he just went spearing off right in front of Dan Stevens there.
Yeah, let's just see if we can get it on the replay there. No, I think our cameras just actually missed that one, unfortunately.
Yes, as I was saying, the GM Holden have given us their full backing and support for the new season. So we're running 2 work-supported cars in the Australian League and 2 in the European League as well.
Oh, that's excellent news. It's good for both series there to have another Works presence right up there as well, challenging for the outright events.
That's right, yes. Looks like Dan's retired back to the pits just now.
Yeah, was there any damage there that you could see, obviously?
I never saw, just actually saw the Wilson
Yeah, it's easy done around here. So let's talk about the Darwin track here at Hidden Valley, or Hidden Valley track at Darwin, rather. It's a bit of a unique one, as are most of the Australian tracks. It's definitely a circuit of two halves, this, rather than our three distinct sectors last week. So you've got the massive long front straight, then you've got that very tight left-hander into turn one, which is a bit of a challenge for most cars, wouldn't you say, Bruce?
It is, yes. Probably will find at the beginning anyway that some people might be outbreaking themselves a little in there.
Yeah, certainly you need a bit of rubber down on this track. It's not used very often, so it's important to have a good line around turn one, and then we're just following the Volvo now off turn one, and we're coming into the turn 2-3 sort of little complex, which has been tricky. I tend to try and hit that curb on the way in on the right hand side, and then lead out to the left hand side on the exit there to get the best line out of it. But then it tends to upset the car as well for the next series of corners. So what's the best way through there, Bruce?
The way I would think would be to, as you say, you've got to clip the corner just perfectly. A little bit too much curb, and the car will just be thrown completely offline. It is just a fine balance of trying to find that perfect sweet spot for that corner there.
Absolutely. Following that, then you've got the tight right-hander, which leads on to the sort of hairpin at the very top of the circuit. So those two corners themselves are where you can lose a lot of lap time on this track if you don't have the car just exactly set up right.
For sure, that's right. Yes, the coming through there into the hairpin at the top of the circuit. It's again another one if you just miss your braking by just a fraction, you've lost all your time there.
Yes, sir.
Back down into the next section, you will there be losing a lot of speed compared to a rival that could have just got that hairpin perfect. Yeah,
and it's a little bit of an overtaking opportunity as well into that hairpin, isn't it? And then you're straight off the hairpin into the next right-hander, which sort of lulls you into a false sense of security, because when your tyres are up and plenty of grip at the start, you can get in there in third gear, or possibly fourth for some of the faster drivers. But as the tyre life goes away, I find that corner actually becomes possibly the most challenging on the track, not to run yourself wide out and into the grass.
Yes, that's right, because if you miss that one, you will just go right off the track through the next corner quite easily.
And then it's a bit of a nightmare to try and get back on the track from there, because everything seems to be off camber to the right hand side if you like to try and get back on. So providing you take that corner correctly, you're into the next little right-hander, which is more or less flat and aiming at the apex across the curb, back up, and then you're into that little tricky back wiggly S's, which if you get them right, it's an awesome feeling, but if you've got the car wrong, it's a horrible feeling to have to take that.
Yeah, that's right. When you come into the first left-hander, it looks like it's just a kink and that's it, but then all of a sudden the second left-hander approaches it really quickly, and that's when you've got to get that right. If you don't get that right, you mess up the next section before you get to the last turn, and that could destroy your whole lap.
Yeah, well, we did have that famous incident a few years ago with Ambrose and Scaife on that final corner.
Yes.
If you do get it slightly wrong, or leave it look like you're going to leave it open, somebody's going to throw it down the inside onto that final corner to get down that straight before you. So it is vitally important that you don't mess up around that section. But it's very, for what looks like a track with a massive straight and a few little sections, it's actually a very technical track, wouldn't you say, Bruce?
It is, yes. I was on a drive last night, and as you say, it looks like it's just straightforward, long straight, a few corners, and you, but if you don't get it right, you do lose a lot of time.
Absolutely, and once you start bleeding time around here, especially if you get the entrance onto the home straight wrong, you're going to suffer for the next lap, aren't you?
That's right, it sort of reminds me of the old Hockenheim circuit. You come out of the stadium, if you don't get it right, you lose a lot of time going down the straight.
Absolutely, it's one of those, you've got to get it right, or else it's you're in the boondocks or way behind for everybody else.
It's absolutely correct there.
So it's good to see the Volvo is moving up over the last few weeks. We've got Chris McCall, he's up to 8th position now, he's on a 106.6 and the outright pace on pole is a 104.8 at the moment. So that's not too shabby, to be fair. He's definitely shown some improvement over the time. It's a bit worrying that we haven't seen his teammate at any stage yet this season, which is a bit of a nightmare for Chris as he gets himself into the series and into the car.
That's correct, yes. I'm sure I did see his teammate around, but for unknown reasons, he's not actually turned up this evening.
Yeah, that is a bit of a shame for everybody as well. I'm sure that this is a front-running car when you've got two drivers working together to try and drag it up the front. But Chris, as I said, as we just spoke about that, has now moved up to 7th position, so he's shown continuous improvement with every lap, which is very nice to see, and it's very welcome to see the Volvo on track.
It is that, yes. The unfortunate news of the ASR teammate for Wayne in the number 222 HH8 Commodore, Colin, he's unfortunately had to go away for a slight operation. Hopefully he will be better soon and be here for the beginning of the season.
Oh well, hopefully. It is bad news for the team, but yes, last week they were running very close together. So these two new guys for your team seem to have a very similar pace, and that's a good thing in a team, isn't it? So they'll be able to push each other. How are you going to manage the inevitable rubbing?
With extreme difficulty, I think.
Good answer.
Yeah, there will be. I mean, that's it. At the end of the day, you always want to beat your teammate, and this pair, with Colin and Wayne, they are very, very evenly matched. They just need to refine their racecraft a little bit, but hopefully as the season progresses we should be able to get on top of that, heading in towards the Enduros at the end of the season.
Absolutely, that'll be a strong team. Yeah, on the European side, obviously you've got yourself and Sam. Sam looks like another top drawer driver as well, so that's a very strong two cars for the Enduro. Oh, and we've got Dave Kinnaman has actually rolled.
Yes, I just missed that there. Yes, the full team lineup with regards to who's going to be driving through, we've not even decided that yet. We'll see how the season progresses, but yes, with Sam running in the Euro Series, we do have a fast driver there. I'll be there or thereabouts, just whilst we get used to the new setup.
Yeah, so we've still got our Mercedes-Benz twins in 1st and 2nd, and Dan Stevens has just lowered that to 0.2 seconds behind Rob Herbert now. So, bit of a teammate challenge going on here from the looks of it.
There is that, and it's definitely proving that the Mercedes are not a slow car. The only thing that would be just the tyre wear, but from what I've seen so far, the tyre wear is just matching just about everybody else. There's no issues or problems with that.
Well, absolutely. Talking to Dan last night before this event, he did say that there wasn't much of a difference between the Nissan and the Mercedes. So that's quite good to see, actually, and it's good to see them on track. We just hope that somebody takes up a team franchise and starts running to at least two of the Mercs, because they are very, very fast cars.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. And the straights, I'm sure they were topping the speed trap heading down the front straight here.
Yeah, they're definitely not lacking for power, and the aerodynamic efficiency looks quite good as well. So it's nice to see every mark on the track at the moment.
It is, yes. That's just got the 3 Fords, I think, at the moment running.
Yeah,
no,
so
4 Ford.
just trying to see who we've got out in the Fords. We've obviously got the Oranga Racing teammates, Roger and our GTCC champion Norman out at the moment. Not looking too flash on pace tonight, Bruce. There we've got Roger down in 10th, 1.9 seconds down, and Norman in 12th, 3.8 seconds down. Is this a track the Ford doesn't like?
From previous times, the track has kind of favoured the more aerodynamic cars. The Commodore has gone better here, but as we're seeing just now, well, actually, as we say that, Dave Cummington has just gone into third with a 105.122.
Yeah, so he's actually just 0.254 down from pole position, which leaves him make it 2/10 off Dan Stevens in second position. So yeah, that's it. That little roll up has woke him up a little bit, and he's back on the pace.
It has that, yes. Yeah, the track I know hasn't quite favoured the Fords, but I suppose it'll just be getting the key, getting your rhythm sorted out. Once you do that, then hopefully everything should then fall into place for you.
Well, interesting to note on this event, Dave's teammate is out for the event. He's got other commitments. Obviously, it's a pre-season one, so it's not that vital. But it'd be interesting to see how Dave actually goes without Gavin being there as well. So he has been up in the top 3 all of the previous events. Won the first event at Adelaide. So let's see if he can keep it up, and especially with the returning champion, it should make things for an interesting event for us.
Well, that, and by the looks of it, qualifying is currently over. So it does appear to be a 1-2 for SRT at the moment with the temporary loaned Mercs.
Absolutely, they're rental cars. I have warned them not to. If they if they dent it, they've bought it. So
that's right. Yes, I don't think Avis will be too happy if they come back a little bit dented.
Not a chance. But let's see how we get on in the race. So that's the qualifying show wrapped. So thanks very much for watching. And if you're watching live, stay tuned. We will be back in 5 minutes.